Hello, friends. I'm back again. I know I posted a video yesterday, but now we're going back to the big picture. Back to the big picture, and today I have a message from the GWB, also known as the Great White Brotherhood. In August, I introduced this collective of sovereign beings, of ascended masters, people who have actually been on Earth, rather than aliens telling us how to do it from their cosmic couches, the safety of their cosmic couches, people who were actually here, who actually embodied light in their physical form. So the GWB, there's a strategic design in all of this, I promise you, has been involved in every massive shift in every era on Earth. They are responsible for all human evolution, any advancements in technology, in culture, in thought. The Alexandria Library was a huge project of the GWB, creating a situation that would help the apocalypse that happened in Atlantis. The GWB swooped in, saved Earth. Wow. So the GWB came to me, right, about last year and said, we're going to start gearing up for the Age of Aquarius. The Age of Aquarius is coming. Yeshua is part of the GWB. It's also the Ascended Master, which is kind of a limited term in this case, that I have the deepest connection with because we shared a lifetime together and we're both cut from the same cloth. So in the last two videos that I put up, I showed you what this looks like from an individual level. I do not experience myself as an individual. I play one on TV. So the GWB came to me this morning and they said, enough of your playing one on TV. Let's get back to the main message. Last Saturday morning, I woke up and I was like, wow, really starting to feel this new light wave influx. The Age of Aquarius is descending in these pulsations, these electromagnetic waves that contain plasma, because that's where consciousness is. But I don't want to, this is not a physics lesson. The GWB, this is not going to be a long video either, told me one element. I'm going to slowly introduce things and then act them out as an individual over and over again as my grand art passion project. I do not experience myself as an individual. I play one on TV. I don't experience myself as a soul individuated. I know that's tough to put up here. But the GWB came to me and they said, let's introduce another element of the Age of Aquarius. The Age of Aquarius is going to be a great restructuring of the spiritual collective consciousness on Earth. For the last era, the last age on Earth, the Piscean age, the Piscean era, spirituality and those seeking, which is a beautiful thing. I'm a huge fan of sincere seeking energy. It's the easiest to work with. The other types of seeking energy are very, very confusing for me. It's manipulation, it's dark. I have to really take a deep breath with that. But a collective consciousness has formed around spirituality in the Piscean age. In the last 50 years, I have Krishnamurti in the background. Like, yes. Yes, he was so intense. I love Krishnamurti. Like, In the last 50 years, though, the spiritual ego of the West, it's even now in the East, has taken over, right? It's the GWB came to me this morning and they showed me in images and sensations like a movie screen across my page that the spiritual ego has taken over what's being shared out in the world. Now, we know what you resist persists. There's a lot of people out there who are like, that's their thing. I'm going after the spiritual ego. I'm going after group consciousness. It doesn't work, right? So the behind the scenes project of the Great White Brotherhood is to restructure the matrix, the electromagnetic grids of the collective spiritual consciousness. They told me, they got together this morning, and when I was getting up this morning, they said, we are restructuring the collective spiritual consciousness on Earth, which will flatten spiritual egos, people who have gained mass following but have never actually met God. They're going to flatten it, is what they said. Return that energy to source. So prior to putting this message out, I acted out what that looks like when you look into yourself and you see that you have been sharing from a spiritual ego. It's a rite of passage, right? You go, ugh, I can't believe I was sharing from a space of having never met God in this lifetime. I was acting out something to restructure it. Once I met God in total humility, I took so much time with it before I rebuilt. Energy returns to source. False trajectories return to source. Something new is born from it. So the GWB, Great White Brotherhood's vision for the Age of Aquarius is that the tower falls. The collective spiritual ego tower falls. And what reforms from it is the next Krishnamurti. Dignity. I'm going to channel him at some point. He's been coming to me a lot. I mean, someone who lived this life with total dignity, respect for God, respect for others, respect for himself, spoke the truth. Yeah, I can't wait to share his story with you if you don't know him. So what they're showing me, and I don't have the full words developed. You just have to bear with me. I don't even have my full camera set up right now. I was in my workout clothes. They were like, come on, girl. So what I've been acting out in the last couple of videos is what this looks like at a personal level. But the bigger picture is they keep showing me a tower that's standing on quicksand. A tower that's about to collapse. The collected spiritual ego of Earth will collapse in the Age of Aquarius in the next 10 years. That's what they keep showing me. From a human perspective, as Lauren, having worked with Moria and Katumi so intimately and so deeply, and St. G, who's been with me since I was very little, preparing me for whatever's about to come. Working with the GWB, this is human Lauren speaking, is every time they approach me as a whole, I have to repattern my nervous system to be able to handle it. Me personally, I have been asking myself, how am I going to do that? What I'm trying to show you is the sheer power. I don't have another word. I know that most of you guys have a severe aversion to power, but I'm talking about like source blast. Source, and it's so pure, it destroys anything that is not in that purity. It is so pure, it destroys everything that is not in that purity. That is the type of electromagnetic pulse that comes from the plasma of the collective of the Great White Brotherhood. I'll get into the metaphysics of electromagnetic energy and plasma consciousness at some point, but not today. All I want to share with you today is that the GWB says this is going to be one of the most significant changes in the Age of Aquarius, is a great restructuring of the collective spiritual consciousness on Earth, which is a buildup of garbage from the Piscean era, the Piscean age. And as we move into the Age of Aquarius, they keep showing me a tower that collapses. The tower represents the collective spiritual ego. Which is a distortion of true Ascended Master teachings. What does that look like? I'm not sure yet. I just want to introduce the topic today and let it sit. So it's been fun playing the character on TV, right? But after doing that, I kind of have a hangover and I go, okay, right? And GWB says, okay, you acted it out really well. Great job. Here's your Emmy nomination. Here's your Emmy nomination, dear Lauren. Now we got to get down to business. The Age of Aquarius in the next 10 years or so will be a great restructuring of the collective spiritual consciousness, right? There's a collective mass consciousness, right? Which is the collective consciousness of humanity is mass consciousness. But those who have been on the path, the Piscean age was all about the path. Our path, this path, that path, every path, the journey. Souls on a journey, right? This is the end. The Age of Aquarius is the end of the way. It's the end of all paths. It's the end of all spiritual factions and families. We've been talking about that. We've been writing about it. But this morning, they just kept showing me the tower collapsing of the spiritual ego. You got to be so honest with yourself. You're going to feel it inside yourself and you're going to see it outside yourself. Because whatever is happening inside of you is happening outside. Whatever's happening outside that you see is happening inside of you. So let's just feel into it today. I don't want to add too much to it. The great restructuring of the collective spiritual consciousness, which ends in a tower collapsing of the collective spiritual ego. This is what they're building. This is the new Alexandria Library I keep talking about. This new Alexandria Library is a real place. It exists. Just like Shambhala exists, even though you're not on it, you can't see it yet. The new Alexandria Library for the Age of Aquarius is a restructuring of the collective spiritual consciousness, which begins with the collapse of the spiritual ego inside of you and in the entirety of creation. All right, so I introduced the concept and I will get more to you as soon as I find the words for it. It's very difficult to find the words. All right.